We mentioned also that governments are kind of not governments or secret groups are under pressure with disclosure because they're aware that there are civilizations coming towards us to put the pressure on us to disclose.
Yes, quite so. Absolutely. In a sense, you see, my dear friend, what you have to understand is that people in power, should I say, feel very threatened by this presence. Simply because ordinarily what would have happened in the past would have been that they would have tried to have attacked it before it had a chance to get too close, or something like that. Something as ridiculous as that. But of course, it's now come to the minds that, in actual fact, these are technologies far in advance of humankind. Therefore, any attempt to, in actual fact, become hostile would be met with, in a sense, it's a situation which brings fear and trepidation to many human minds. And this is, I suppose, you could say, a part of the vexed question as to how human beings will be able to tolerate this kind of situation. And I have to say, friend, that I would have to say that human beings do have to be careful. This is not a situation which is carte blanche, everything is love and light. And do not think for one moment that all that are going to come, or beings that you may meet in the future, are going to be that way. I'm not bringing fear here. I'm just saying that there has to be great care given. This is exactly the same for those who are actually engaging in beings from elsewhere, who are maybe giving one tolerance, giving one energy to make you feel that they are loving beings, when in actual fact they have other motives.
Yeah, okay. So just another quick question as well that I know people are probably asking while they're listening to this as well, that with the Obama thing, there's kind of two schools of thought on Obama. Some say that he's a real good guy, and others say that he is just the same old kind of cabal, Illuminati, trying to create a new world order.
Yes.
I see a lot of evidence that he's honestly creating a lot of good change and a lot of progress for peaceful measures.
Yes.
Other people say that if he's government, then he must be part of the Illuminati or something like that. So I just wondered if you're able to give your view on that, if that's possible.
Yes, dear friend, the simple fact of the matter is there are many still yet within certain governments all over the planet which are at present engaged in very hostile and counter activity, which, because they have great fear about them, because they are beings who want to hold on to power for whatever cause they design their power to be, whether it be a far-right political belief or Christian belief or some other religious belief, some far-right hostile makeup that engages within it. And this could be said for many, many countries, including the one that is here, that you are currently sitting on and which I am engaging with. So you can say that these are the same situations which have been allowed to develop at best through racism, at best through great hostility to different beings. Racism is included in hostility to other animals as well as other human beings of different race. So you can see that this is then a fed hostility, which by some who wish to keep their own island, and not allow anyone else upon it. That's exactly the same behavior that they have off the planet as well. They think they own it. So this then is the situation. They would much rather see, perhaps for some of them, would much rather see large slices of the human population to be decimated by whatever happens so that they can live through it. There are some people who actually have that as a vested interest.
Okay, so basically just a quick answer if you can on the Obama thing then.
Yes.
I mean, is he actually working with good intent? So when we're seeing stuff and it is good, is he actually working for the good?
Yes.
And the bad stuff we're seeing is more the kind of secret interest, special interest groups that are working behind the scenes trying to derail the good that he's doing.
Yes, of course, absolutely. You have all of these pressure groups, dear friend, different industries, which are maintained by those political interests which are self-motivated power in exactly the same way that it has existed for the last 300 years, really.
So really, if Obama could disclose the UFO thing, he would really be stepping on the toes of quite a few groups, and he would really be a great revenge in some respects. But the way I see it is that most of the major mainstream media outlets are owned by very powerful companies, and would they actually give him airtime to even go on telly and maybe disclose something like that? I don't know. But
well, yes, my dear friend, I have to say this is an individual who can court his own popularity. He is well versed in modern media techniques. That means to say that even if it was something that was not able to be displayed upon their international television in that respect, although I have to say there are certain scenarios here whereby he has become so popular and engaging that they would, that it would be something that they would encourage themselves, whatever disclosure that he was to make.
yeah.
Absolutely, I cannot see a way that would be denied.
Yeah, I mean there is chatter again on the internet with insiders saying that the Nobel Peace Prize event could be tied into something like that, because it would give him a world stage, if you like, to receive an award for the Nobel Peace Prize, but maybe an opportunity to maybe speak about something. I mean, what would be better? Yeah. What would be the ultimate peace thing? Would be to disclose that we're not alone, and that we can then start focus on moving forward as a whole race rather than being separate from each other.
Yes, absolutely so. And to actually treat the planet in a global way, rather than this situation of very fractured states, yeah. Which is really why the planet is falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, I read a very interesting comment actually someone made on the internet the other day, which summed it up well. There's kind of two realities going on. There's everybody uses the internet, and then there's governments in their old paradigm of little silos. This is my country. This is my country. This is my state. And yet you've got this global community where I can sit there and talk to Americans, Europeans, Australians. We don't care what countries we come from. I can go to a conference and meet people from all over the world. To me, there's no barriers anymore with the internet. And yet we're living in this. We've got this kind of old energy, kind of government still trying to act in that old separate way. When really the internet's allowed us to move forward in this global way already. In some respects.
You are lucky, friend.
Yes, very true. Yeah.
In my day, we had nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing. We couldn't even hardly communicate with the next village, yet alone something as wonderful as that.
I think actually that hasn't moved on much either. Most people don't even talk to their next door neighbours.
I understand that. It's a sad fact, dear friend.
Yeah.
People have lost the art of communication. Purely and simply, though, I have to say, because it is not something which is encouraged when in its infancy. When a human being is in its infancy, how do you see encouragement take place? It's part of the greatest failing of education, that it does not encourage such situations of banter, of teaching people to understand actually how to live rather than a single-celled subject. Would be far better, would it not?
Okay, this conversation does lead me on to something else. Someone did email in and they wanted to know about